All right, you guys, hi. A little bit late today, sorry. Oh, my notes. I wouldn't have my head attached today if it wasn't like attached. Okay. How are you all? Sorry I was late, so I'll give you guys a couple minutes to get caught back up. Hi, Karen. Hi, Molly. And Barb. Alrighty, so we have a few different things to talk about today. So announcements wise, tomorrow is the in-store Baby Lock live stream presentation for the Radiance machine. It's basically like a relaunch for the machine. So it's going to be really fun. It's not too late to sign up. There's no fee associated. So if you are planning to come, just sign up online or give us a call in either of the stores and we can get you signed up. Just so that we can know to expect you and make sure we have stuff for you. Okay. And then the following Saturday, so the 26th, is Kimberbell Day for this year. And that is also an event that is free of charge for you. But we would ask for you to sign up for whatever store you're going to be attending just so that we're prepared again. And then don't forget to also register on Kimberbell's website so that way you can get the free design and everything too. Okay. And then not to forget, but Miss Nancy, well, we do also have FTCU, unless it's been changed and the calendar doesn't show that. But as far as I know, the Floriani club is going to also be on the 26th, and that is a virtual class with Miss Nancy. Okay, and then my last announcement is that I initially had stated that the Potluck Pals, which is the Next by Annie project, which is this one here, I had stated that it was going to be August 1st. However, we are having to switch some things up with Bernina Club, being that it's going to be the first Friday of the month now. If you're a part of Bernina Club and haven't received the email, it's going out. And then, so I did have to change Potluck Pals from August 1st to August 5th. Okay, so, just making sure that that starts to get out there. So August 5th for the Potluck Pals virtual class. And there is a, hi Ruby. There also is, a kit and stuff like that available as usual. It's not going to include your zipper because we almost use a whole length of zipper, and but it will have the mesh in there. Okay, so get signed up for one of those if you need it. Okay, I do have a giveaway before I forget because I'm notorious for that, but this is such a cute little zipper pouch that was done with the chain stitch, super cute, and this is going to go to Jolie Mays. Okay, so I think we have some stuff here in the back for you, so I'll put it with your goodies. All right, second thing, or maybe I'm on to like the fifth thing at this point. We have the new, and it's kind of funny because it's called Merry Little Christmas. But we have the new Tilda fabrics available online for pre-order. I did not ask though when they'll be available, so I don't have that answer for you, unfortunately. I'm sorry. So we have, it's 32 fabrics in this line. Okay, so I'll kind of pan over on my little printout here. They are so cute, so like soft, but I kind of think that's a Tilda thing. but they're really, really pretty. So you've got your typical reds and greens, but not like your typical colors. Then you've got this like powder blue. I love this. I can't see where I'm at. So you've got the powder blues, and then you've got like a cream and gray kind of colorway. And then some coordinates that go with them down here. So again, 32 different fabrics in this line. Okay. We also have a fat quarter bundle. Now, again, so you can order that yardage online already. I will say that it is not a mistake. These fabrics are a little bit on the pricier side, and that's just something that is kind of dictated. We even have MAP pricing, which is minimum advertised pricing for these fabrics. So that's what we have them listed at. So they are $16.45 per yard. Still extremely beautiful fabric. I mean, it's pretty much worth it at that point. And then we do have the fat quarter bundle, which is going to have all 32 cuts. And that one's going to be $133.98. Okay. So, let us know if you are ready to pre-order any of that stuff. Again, it's add to cart available. So you can even order it online. Okay. They come from out of the country. Yeah. Okay. So then we have, but wait, there's more. I think Kate might have talked about these online yesterday, on yesterday's live. So we have another Quilt Seeds collection from Lori Holt. These ones are a bit bigger than the last series. These ones are 28 inches square. So you basically make one large block. It kind of actually reminds me of when Paula does her big square, little square, quilts. They're kind of cool because it's a great size. And we actually have some samples. So Mo has been working very hard on getting some of these samples done for us. Well, I say some, but I really mean all. Okay, I'm going to cover you guys up so I can turn quickly. But these I have just kind of butted up next to each other just to kind of, you know, make it cutesy, right? But this is all 4 of the Quilt Seeds for this Americana Star collection. And then there is a goal to get kits done, but I know that she's used a couple different fabrics throughout multiple of these pieces. So I need to double check with her, and today's her day off. So I will find out from her either tomorrow or next week a kit price if you want a kit bundle to create all 4 of these. Alternatively, there is also a pattern included in the patterns for the Quilt Seeds for each star that are allows you to take the 4 large blocks, add some sashing and some pretty cornerstones and stuff to make it one large quilt. So each of these squares is 28 by 28. And if you make them and be one large quilt, it would finish at 78 inches square. So nice and big, so pretty. I love the colors that Mo chose. I called it something and now I don't remember even what it's called, or what I said, but it's something along the lines of like gypsy boho. I love them, and they're so not my style, but they are so pretty. So total kudos to Mo. She did an amazing job. And if you're ready to pre-order a fabric bundle, just let me know. And that way we can kind of get an idea of how many we're going to cut. And then the patterns are available for purchase now. Okay, let me cover you guys up. I'll quickly turn back around to the machine. So the 4 patterns we did in one bundle again. So we've got one package that has all 4 in them. They are normally $36 for all 4, and we have them on sale for $28.80, which is also listed on our website on our live products for our live sale. Okay, so I just threw so much at you guys. Okay, absolutely, Melody, we will get that to you. I have live on Tuesday, so I will officially have it for you then. Okay, if not sooner. Okay, so the last thing I have to show, because it's Friday, is our I always want to call it the Friday bundle. I can't get around that. I'm never going to give that up. So we have our cute little Friday bundle. So kind of a different feel. This fabric was kind of my main inspiration. This one is super cute. So it's got like Sequoia, Yellowstone, Indiana dunes, hot springs. It was just kind of fun to not have something super like florally or whatever. And then I've got 4 different coordinating fabrics to go with them. Okay, so a gray, this really fun green, which reminds me of leaves, and then a nice teal and yellow. So it just picks up some of the colors that are in the wording here. So that's our Fab 5 bundle for today, $20 for our 5 half-yard cuts. Beautiful. All right, so on to today's project. I literally got this done a hot minute ago, so I did not get a chance to stitch around the edge. But we've got a cute little mini bucket. It has a drawstring on it, which is adorable. I did actually do this last week or so. I did it in a different set of fabrics, but I'm gonna run out of this fabric if I kitted it. So, but I just wanted to show you, and again, a little bit of a difference of quilting and not quilting. So I will definitely be doing quilting on live today. But I am going to show you kits. So I do have a kit in the sprinkles for kind of like a birthday theme. Okay, pretty gender neutral too. All right, and then I have today's fabrics. We're gonna do a Christmas one. So this is gonna be our focal fabric for this one. And the kits are gonna be $5.99. Okay, so again, online and available for purchase. And then or if you need to comment, you can do that too. Just make sure you specify whether you want a birthday one or a Christmas one. And they're just so nice. They're small, really small. We did have a joke that it could be a toilet paper cover. Definitely a single ply size, definitely not the ones that you get from Costco, but it would just be super cute to put a little gift in there, or you can even put like your clips next to your sewing machine. It's just a nice little size that's not going to take up so much room or have to fill up with so much stuff. Okay, so let's get going. You are going to need cuts of fabric and batting for your outer fabric. So again, this is the fabrics that we have here. These are our outside fabrics. These pieces are 4 3/4 by 8.5. So you need 2 of those and batting to match those, and then you want to have those quilted. You also need a 5.5-inch circle. That is what I heard. Melody, I did hear that. Oh, cookies for teachers. I think that's adorable. So you need a 5.5-inch circle again with batting and quilted. And then you're also going to need the matching same sizes, but not batting and not quilted for your lining fabrics. And then the piece that the drawstring goes in is going to be 4 1/4 by 17.5. Now, or 17 1/4. I will say that this is probably the one piece that's going to be a little finicky. So again, I am so notorious and great at finding these projects, but they're written in another language. And I watch a video And translations and measurements are not always so easy. So I got them as close as I could, but this is always the piece that's a little large for me. So I'm going to do something a little bit differently during live. If you're going to go by the instructions that we have, just know that this size here, the drawstring cover, might be a little long. So you might need to take an even deeper seam allowance, but I'll go over that when I get to that step. Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do, which I already did because who wants to sit and watch me quilt, is pre-quilt your outside fabric. So I did just that. I got batting and everything. Batting is included in your kit. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put our two outside fabrics, not the round yet, but these two pieces, we're going to put them pretty sides together. You can tell I've been teaching kids. It's pretty sides, not right sides. So right sides together, we're going to sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance, per the instructions, but I'm going to actually do a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance on live today to see if it helps eat up more of this fabric, because this fabric's always been large. Okay, so instructions say 1/2 of an inch, but I'm going to do a 1/4 inch to test it out and see how it goes. Okay. Scoot you over so that you guys actually get to watch me sew and not my elbow or something. All right. All right, so we're going to go down both short sides. With our fabrics right sides together. Okay, you are going to want to take your seam and press it open as best as you can. I do have my little Aliso iron over here, so I'm just going to press it really quick. Just get that bulk to lie a little flatter. And then you're going to need a Frixion pen. Which I had around here somewhere. Okay, so, that's hot. Okay, I had a pen. Pen has disappeared. Okay, so you would probably want to mark it, but I'm just going to put a pin in it because my pen walked off. So I'm going to line up my seams, okay, and I'm going to pin, again, just because I lost my Frixion pen, it walked off. And I'm going to basically line up the seams, and then I'm going to mark where my folds are. Okay. And we only need to do this on one side. Okay, so that is good. Then we're going to take our outside quilted circle. I almost called it a square. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, the way that I quilted it, I'm pretty much going to be able to find all of my markings by where I did my quilting lines, which is awesome. But we'll mark it anyways. Okay. So I did one fold this way. Now I'm going to open it and do one fold this way, line up my markings, and I'll mark the other sides. So on the circle, we pretty much need to mark north, east, south, west. And then on the wall fabrics, whatever you want to call them, we're basically using our seams and our, no, I don't think it's actually behind the machine this time. We'll use our seams as markings and then the other two markings, okay? So we're gonna lay these, oops, I don't wanna pin a fold in there. Okay, so we're going to place these right sides together. So I'm gonna line up one marking with the seam. And pin. Gonna jump over to the other side, do the opposite side with the opposite seam and pin. And then I'm gonna match up these two markings. And then the last two. And because we're going around in a circle, is it going to be better to pin or clip all the way around? Absolutely. But are we going to? Of course I'm not going to. Okay, so it's going to be easier. We're going to sew all the way around where our raw edges meet. It's going to be easier to do it with the flat part, the circle part, on the bed of your machine. Okay, so we're just going to stitch all the way around. And this I was already doing at 1/4 of an inch, so we're going to keep that measurement. Okay, so we're just going to go all the way around here. Just kind of work and keep your raw edges together as you go around. And of course, I can't cut a perfect circle, so some of it will line up and some of it won't. It's a cute project. It actually goes together pretty quickly. Lucidel, I tried calling you back yesterday a couple times, but all I got was a busy signal. So I didn't know what you needed, but please give me a call back if you still need me. I'd love to talk. All right. All right, so we're back to the beginning. Okay, so this is the outside of our little mini bucket, and we're going to turn this piece right side out. Okay, you can definitely clip those close to those seams too. It'll help our, oops, I left a pin in there. Don't tell Patrick. But there is our outside. Okay, and we're gonna set this aside. Now we have our lining fabrics, which are basically the same pieces, just not with batting, and we didn't quilt them. And we're gonna do essentially the same exact steps, but when we sew our wall pieces together, we're going to leave an opening in one short side. So we're really only going to stitch basically that much. You want to leave an opening on one short side. So, and again, I'm changing it from 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch to see if that makes a good enough difference. Okay, skip a few. Alrighty, then I'm going to come over to the other short side. We're going to go down this whole length. Okay, then we're going to do our little matching of the seams, putting some pins in to get these halfway marks over here. Okay, so there's one. Come over here and do this one. Okay, and then we're going to do our circle, which this is such a thin piece, I could probably just finger crease it and be able to match up those markings. All right, I'm just going to do that. Instead of putting pins in this thin fabric, I'm just going to finger crease. Okay, so one crease we're going to do again, right sides together, line it up here. I forgot to press my seams open, so let me do that. Okay. All right, so one crease to one seam here. And pin. Do the opposite. Thanks, Rosie. It's definitely harder than it seems. Okay, so then once I've done those two, we're gonna do the side creases, and we're gonna make sure we pin those. Okay, and we're gonna go all the way around this one as well. Okay, and again, it's easier to do it with the flat down on the bed of the machine. So, and then these pieces, because there is no quilting or batting, they're just in, because they're cut in the way that they are, like it's just, they stretch a bit. So just take your time, go around. And again, we're still at that 1/4 inch. I'm trying not to get any like pleats in there, but it's kind of inevitable. I'm sorry, I'm sure all you guys are seeing are the back of my fingers, but it's kind of one of those things where you have to have your fingers like all over it. I'm sure you could also size this up. I probably wouldn't size it down. I mean, if you're super ambitious, you go right on ahead. But you could probably size this up. It's really just getting those proportions on the, you know, your wall dimension, you know, how much, you know, circumference or whatever you would need to have. It's a bit more math than I really want to do, but I'm sure somebody could do it. Oops. Okay, back to the beginning there. All right, so now we've got this one and we're gonna leave it wrong side out. Okay, so we're not gonna turn it. And we're gonna set that aside. Then we have our drawstring cover, and we're going to take one long side and we're gonna fold it. Now, obviously, if you had something that had a right and a wrong, you're gonna make sure you do this wrong sides together. But you're gonna fold in about 1/4 of an inch. Which I am completely just eyeballing. Okay. And then from our folded edge, we're gonna fold down about 1 inch or so. The ribbon that is in the kit is about, I think it was 3/8 of an inch. So you really just want to make sure your casing is going to be large enough for whatever string you have or cording or whatever. And then you also want to make sure it's about-ish half the distance of your circle. So, but again, that's a lot of math. So down 1 turn of 1/4 inch and then about 1 inch there. And we're going to press this also. I'm going to do this on with the iron. Okay, so this is what that's hot. This looks like. Okay, so we've got 1/4 of an inch down turn and then about another inch. Okay, we're not going to stitch this yet. We're actually going to open this up on both sides, and we're going to fold this in. Nope, we're going to open this up on the short sides, and we're going to put these right sides together. Okay, get this down. Okay, so totally opened up those folds, and we're going to match our short sides here. I'm only going to clip up here or pin up here where our folds were, because we're actually not going to sew on that section. We're going to sew pretty much 2.5 inches, which should be right around where your that large fold is, or so. Okay, and I did learn that I do want to reinforce where my stitch starts. And then you're basically measuring 2.5 inches up from the unfolded side, and that's the only length that you're going to stitch. And I'm taking a very deep seam allowance here. I've got my needle literally all the way to the left. Okay, so there is that. So that's what this looks like. Okay, we're going to press this open. Okay, kind of continue that fold on each of these short sides. Okay, and then we're going to fold down and basically recreate these folds from before. Okay. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, this is not what my other one looked like. What did I do differently? There we go. Okay, so I did the initial folds first, then I folded this edge in. So did my 1/4 inch down turn, did the inch turn, and then folded my raw edge over, I think. And then we're going to basically just top stitch this in place. If you have enough of a seam allowance, you could always double turn this, but that's an itsy bitsy teeny weeny little fold also. So you have options, whatever ends up looking the best for you, because like I said, some people might want to really encase that raw edge, but if that's the case, we're looking at like a really small fold. We'll see how this goes. Okay, and then just make sure you have it open underneath and that you're not stitching it to the rest of your wall. Come on. work with me. There we go. Okay, and then remember what the heck I did. I think I did this, and then I did, so I did the 1/4 inch turn, then I did our double fold. All right, and then we're gonna do our top stitch. Okay. Alrighty, so then we have that. Then we're gonna do our initial fold under of that about inch or so measurement. And then we're going to top stitch along this fold to basically create our channel. Go all the way around here. Okay, so then we're gonna put this right side out. No, right side in, so wrong side out. Okay, I'm gonna scooch you this way so you can see this part. Okay. So I'm gonna slip this over top our quilted outer piece. Okay. And we're going to pin or clip or whatever all of this. Okay, so the red part is just about the right amount. So if you're gonna follow along with your instructions, make a note. Don't do the 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, and then this is gonna go inside our lining. And I'm pretty much going to line up our seams from the outside with the seams on the lining as well. And all of this is going to get shoved inside. Okay, scooch some things around to make sure that the seams are all lining up. And then you're going to want to clip or pin all the way around here. really make sure these raw edges line up. Be nice and even. Okay, and then we can come over to our east and west sides and do a pin there. So here is where the red is it's a little bit loose still, but I think we can make it work. Okay, and then we're gonna go all the way around here. So you can definitely put your, get your free arm going. I'm just gonna go all the way around. And this, we're going back to 1/4 of an inch. I almost didn't even see that pin. All right, so just gonna go all the way around the raw edges. Okay, once you do that, then we have that opening. Okay, we have that opening in our lining, so we're gonna turn everything through there. That's where you learn that you didn't make it big enough, because that's what I do every time. Oh, definitely didn't make it big enough. I don't know when I'm ever going to learn that I always want to go bigger. Okay, and then once you've got that turned, you're just going to want to close up that opening. You can do the 4-letter bad word kind of opening, or you can just do it by machine. Okay, so that's all closed up. You're going to stuff this inside. Then you can also top stitch around where the casing, the cover, the drawstring cover, and your outside fabric. You can also top stitch there. So that's going to give you kind of like this type of look where it really stands nice and tall, and then that cover kind of falls in. And you're going to do that by folding your cover down and inside of the bucket. And I did a really close top stitch. Okay. So I definitely prefer this look as opposed to not doing it, which I did on the birthday one. I also didn't quilt it, and I really wish I had. Okay, so then once you have that, then you've got your channel for your string. And grab a safety pin, and I actually knotted the end first. So each of the ends of my ribbon are knotted. When I saw the video for this project, they had one of those little ones where you pinch it and then you can pull up and down like cording or something. Obviously we don't have those, so I figured this would be a better way to go. And you're only using one ribbon, so it's not like feeding it one way and one the other way. Okay, and then we're just going to feed with the safety pin all the way around. Don't pull it all the way through. You want the other side of the tail to stay on this side. Okay, so I'm just feeding. Okay, so don't lose your other tail. But I'm gonna tie this one in a knot also. Okay, and then you can just cinch it up and give it a nice little tie here. And there's your cute little bag. So cute. So cute. Okay, and there's your little mini bucket. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Oh, okay. Whatever that chime that needs to be. We're going to do our manager special before I forget. Okay, so this is a retired design from Kimberbell. In the way of that you cannot get it in the state that I have it. You can only get it as a digital download now. So this one is going to allow you, it has the printed instructions and everything nice and ready there for you. Okay, so this is an older design. It is called Make Yourself at Home. It is such a cute design. Cute little houses, some quilted stars, trees. So this one would have been about $85. We're going to do this one for $60. And again, it is a retired design, so comment home. I will stick around here for a little bit in case anybody wants it. So home, and it will be yours. The Make Yourself at Home Kimberbell quilt. Okay. Normally $85, we're going to do $60. The red sofa is adorable. And you make the little, oh, so cute. So, so cute. And then, all right, Miss Daryl, I see your name first, so I will put your name on this one, and I will have it here for you. All right, you guys, well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I don't know who has live on Monday, but I'm sure they have a fantastic project for you, and then I will see you on Tuesday. All right, folks, have a good weekend. Bye-bye.